And we are back. So that's excellent. We were just kind of talking a little bit about out of town work.
Yes.
How's your nutrition out there?
Oh, when we work out of town. Well, they buy all our groceries. Luckily,
Okay.
there's not many restaurants in those small towns, so we kind of have to cook.
Okay,
Um,
perfect.
I think if they were sending us somewhere with like lots of restaurants, I would be eating out a lot more. But
Yeah.
no, we're going up there and we kind of have to cook. Like I don't have the best nutrition because we were kind of in a cabin with we didn't have an oven. We just had like a stovetop.
Okay.
So we ate like lots of pastas and soup.
Like
That's
soup, yeah.
nothing bad for you, just nothing like we weren't buying a bunch of vegetables and stuff like I would at home because like we don't want to abuse that power of them paying for a grocery either, right?
Just
So
go nuts. Yeah, yeah.
because we'll be doing our grocery shopping and he's like with us and when we're done he's just paying and then I'm like, oh, I feel bad almost with what I'm buying. I'm like, yeah, I'll be careful, just buy a little what I
That
need.
that was the kind of how we talked about before, how it's nice having everything done for you. But when they sent you the money at the beginning of the week, like this is your money for the week, there was no second guessing what you should be eating or how you should be spending it, because it's like
Yeah.
it's out of hand. This is what they're giving you, kind of thing. So yeah, I guess that would be kind of weird, eh?
Yeah.
Especially
And
if
I mean
they're walking you around buying it.
I mean, if you do have like a budget too, and you're like, oh, I can afford a little bit of a nicer hotel with that, you don't feel bad about it. But when
Right.
it's like it's paid for you and everything, you're just like, okay, I'll take what I'm given. Like, but no, we
Yeah.
do really appreciate it still. And like, they're a great company. Like, they never put us in like a shithole. Just like,
Oh man.
like they're good. they
The
care for us.
the first company I worked out of town with would like put you up in a shithole because
Oh no.
the guys are so wild, right? Like we were in a hotel one time with the steel guys back when we were building Walmarts. And so they would get all the steel up, and then it was our turn to come in and build the exterior, and then you'd board it and everybody could start. But we got there on a Monday and they had gone up on the Friday before or something, and there was like 17 cases of beer in front of their room. It was like
Lord.
a mountain of empties, and you just couldn't go anywhere else because in the middle of the night they'd come and they'd be kicking you out, because they don't just
Oh,
kick out certain people, it's everyone all together, right? So we were in some super shitty places. But in the same
that
hand,
sucks.
you could have a couple of beers and be as loud as you wanted. So that wasn't so bad when I was
Yeah,
20.
fair enough.
Um, yeah, I always ask about nutrition out of town because the first time that I went out of town, we had five guys, I guess six guys some of the time. And somebody would cook dinner. Whoever cooked dinner yesterday cleans up. And then whoever cleaned up yesterday buys lunch. So it was like you always kind of had like some sort of like a fresh sandwich kind of lunch, and then somebody was really making food, like usually slow cooker stuff. um but yeah, it's key because in 2 weeks of garbage food, it just,
Mhm.
you're so drained.
Yeah, it's like it's almost worse. Like you're already draining yourself working so hard, but if you're like eating crap on top of it, it's not good.
Yeah, you've got to be replenishing somewhere, right? And when you're not, it's
Mm.
it's tough. Are you taking any supplements? Sorry, do you go to the gym out of town?
Uh, we tried, but the way they had it set up is they were driving up, like picking us up for work, and we were a little too far
Oh,
from the gym. I
yeah.
really wanted to, but it's like 40 minutes walk, and I was like, I feel bad. I don't want to be asking them to like pick me up and walk, like drive me to the gym after work.
Yeah,
Um,
there'll be no hour and a half of walking after a leg day and a full day of
yeah,
work.
no, 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 and like as much as I'd want to do whatever in like the hotel or the cabin we're staying at, that I
Yeah,
can't do that stuff. Like
yeah.
I home workouts are harder than regular workouts to
I
me.
th
So
COVID killed me like that, because I've got a machine here and I've got like a 35-pound dumbbell. Like I use it like a kettlebell, but I just never do. Like at home is at home. I have to like be in the gym. And then as soon as you walk through that door, it's like okay, we're here, we know what we do here
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly.
Yeah,
I'm trying to finish my basement here as a gym because right now it's just
nice.
unfinished, but I want the whole basement to be a gym so it feels like a different area
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
that's the only way I'll get motivated. But at the same time, I'm like, I want it to have it at home because you don't know what's gonna come back with if something else like COVID will happen or
Yeah.
and at the same time, like I'm paying for a membership, but I live in a smaller town, so the gym is smaller and like it's a great gym, don't get me wrong, but like having
Yeah.
my own stuff and having everything I need anyways for no money, like without having to pay would be great. So
Well, and the plates are always there. Everything's always clean.
yeah.
It's exactly how you left it. Yeah.
There's no kids making a mess in the gym.
They're terrible everywhere, eh? It's
Yeah.
yeah. We the gym that I go to in town here, they had a Good Life that closed. Um, I had an issue with the Crunch Fitness a couple of years ago, so I've just stopped going. But there's a Planet Fitness here, and it's right around the corner. It's super convenient, but they gave every student a free pass for the summer. That was their promotion. And I was like flabbergasted because you had like 30 people in the gym not working out. They were just like there to hang out because that's where everyone is. It was a disaster. Um, but like as soon as school was back in, it was wonderful again for sure.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Like I love seeing younger people like getting into it and stuff. And it's like it's healthy and like good for you, but at the
Hmm.
same time, it almost overwhelms me because I'm there to work out and there's just so many of them and their friends. So it's like they're just talking and talking and walking around. I'm like, oh, I can't even do my workout. Like this is stressful.
Yeah. I typically, if I'm like in a routine, like I'm going 5 times a week kind of thing, I'm either going in the morning or I'm going after 8 o'clock because like nobody's in there punishing themselves
Yeah.
before work or like before bed, right? So you kind of get that. Yeah, it's lucky. There's something to be said too for when you're out of town. Like you need to conserve your energy a little bit to be working too. So it's not like you're not doing something, you know.
Yeah. We're lucky to still have a physical job for that because if you worked out
Yeah.
of town doing uh, like office work, that would not be good at all. But yeah,
The last time that I went, I built a booster juice in Sudbury, and that's right when COVID hit. Like the how COVID kind of like started to dim down and then it hit a second time.
yeah.
That's when I was building this booster juice, and I couldn't do anything but order in food. Like
Okay.
there was no kitchen, even the common areas of the hotel you couldn't use. Like it was like you are to be in your room or you are to be going where you're going, and it was
Yeah.
brutal. So it was like 2 months of Kelsey's burgers. I was eating the keg once a week because I was just tired of eating just terrible
Yeah.
food. Yeah.
It's hard to get healthy stuff eating out too. Like even the healthier options sometimes are
Hmm.
not so healthy.
Well, a lot of it's like frozen vegetables. Like it's not super high quality chicken or beef anyways, right? It's kind
Yeah.
of like, if you're out buying a whole steak dinner for 20 bucks somewhere, like it can't be good. Like it's
Yeah,
a
exactly.
steak is a steak for sure, but yeah, it's yeah. What are you guys using to sand? I had that written down. We didn't talk about it before.
Well, we do everything with like sanding poles. I've never used those electric
Oh,
sanders.
get on it.
I know I keep seeing them and people are saying that. I'm scared they'll be heavy and I'll just waste my money though. I'm scared to buy one and then be like, oh, because like I was saying, we do such big houses
Yeah.
that it would get heavy quick. But at the same time, I'm like, I would be doing it a lot faster and using the pole also hurts my shoulders. So
I don't use anything electric on any corners. Almost all of my bulkheads are hand done. It really just speeds up the flats and the butts where you'll do, at least the way that I do it, I kind of do that picture frame around where all the joints are and then just kind of buff over it. And then when I go around with my lantern, if there's touch-ups, you still do a lot of it by hand for sure. But it
mm,
it it takes out, like just like you said, what gives you the sore shoulders, it kind of, it's the lion's share of that work that the vacuums do. Yeah, when I got that DeWalt, I got the big battery in it too. It's really heavy. Like by the end of the
Yeah,
day, you're done holding it for sure. But
that's what I'm scared of, mostly for ceilings, right?
oh, because you're up here, right? And
Yeah.
how long can you do that for? Because you can hold it like this, and then it's on the end spinning, but you really kind of want it to be like you would use a sanding pole, right? And
Yeah.
that's super awkward. A buddy of mine's got a vac system, and I don't think it's a Merca. It's like an older model to the same kind of an idea as the Merca, and it's almost weightless. The handle unit, because everything's kind of down in the vacuum unit, like anything that's kind of functional other than making it spin, and it's pretty good. I had the Festool at Tom's house, my last project, and it was pretty good. It still, by the end of the day though, I feel like any kind of sanding, by the end of the day, you're kind of pooped with it.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the least. You ask any taper, if it's not their least favorite part of their job, then you really wonder what's going on in their head, because there's
Yeah.
no way anyone likes that.
The best part about sanding is when it's over, and you get paid. That's pretty much,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
the last step. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, you should reach out to one of these guys. They'll probably send you one.
It's like I feel bad. I don't want to be getting stuff and not use it, right? Like,
That's definitely true. um do they do your cleanup for you when they hire
no.
you out of town? No. Okay. I didn't.
We had, I think, one job that they had hired. I think we were doing just units in an apartment building. It was like a old folks home,
Oh yeah.
and they just wanted us to like get them done, so they hired just their laborer to like scrape and sweep after us. So that was
The first
amazing.
time I ever had that experience, I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
They brought me in to do like production steel framing, and you just bang out a big section of wall, and then usually when you would go down to clean up a little bit to reset up somewhere else, some kid had come in and start cleaning up after you, and I was like, this is awesome. But it makes sense. Why are you going to pay somebody way up here when you got somebody for whatever minimum wage running around? And those kids are usually happier than shit. They've got a job, it pays pretty good, no one's following you around, bossing you around like a manager.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I wish they did that everywhere, because then we go back to reality where we have to clean our own shit.
I know.
It's no fun.
Like this is terrible.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's part of the job, I guess.
It really is, and it's like it's the work ethic part of it too. My cousin's one of these guys that cleans up every day at the end of the day, and it's just for the fact that when he walks back into site, it's clean. And I'm like the polar opposite of that. I'll have like mountains of shit everywhere because I'm going to clean this up once really well at the end.
Yeah.
But there has to be like some sort of voice of reason between the two. It's every once in a while they get a little wild for sure.
I think on like commercial jobs, I'll usually like try to do a quick cleanup every day, just because I'm thinking about other trades. I'm like, I don't want them to slip in my mud or whatever.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But
it's a different when I'm on someone else's site is very different, but when they're my own, I'm a fucking slob.
Yeah, if it's just us on site, I'll leave it there, and at the end we're like, okay, everything's gonna be scraped and clean, and it's just so satisfying to see it all clean just the once. So that's fine.
For sure. So when you're training at the gym, what are you doing? Like, do you typically do like body parts, like that kind of a style, or are you doing like more CrossFit-y movements? Or
no, I do bodybuilding, and I
same.
split it like shoulders, then legs, then back and bis. Chest and tris, back and bis.
Yeah. And
like when I feel like it, I'll add cardio or abs at the end, but that's
totally.
like really like when I feel like it.
That's like an old school, like Arnold way of doing it, where like back and bis and chest and tris, that was kind of his his split. That's
Yeah,
wicked.
I kind of got that split. I think I don't know, in grade 11 or something. I just
Mhm.
stuck to it. I was like, that works for me. I like it. And
I,
that's what
I,
it
I,
is.
I've always enjoyed doing two muscle groups in a day. And when they complement themselves like that, where, you know, you're using a lot of your tricep for a lot of your pushes, right? What I do now is push day, pull day, legs. So you're basically doing all of the push movements in a day, which it's a bunch of different things. And then
Yeah.
all of your pulls the next day and then legs. Um, I just think it's nice to have it changed up a little bit, but I kind of miss having like a day to focus on arms or shoulders or
Yeah.
and like really critique it.
Yeah, I've
Um,
just the only reason I do it that way is because I just love training shoulders that
yeah.
I need a whole day. Otherwise, I'd be at the gym like 4 hours. I'm like, I don't have time for this anymore. I'm not like in
Mhm.
high school. So I think doing shoulders on their own, it's like I can still have a like an hour and a half workout and like have enough stuff to do just with my shoulders.
Yeah, and then it's pooched at the end of it. That's the
Yeah.
thing I like about bodybuilding as opposed to like training, if you will, is you are like fully exhausting the muscle, right? So it's like if you wanted to do some more, you probably couldn't. Like you'd
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
drop your weights. That's typically how I know that I'm done. Like I've got my core set of things that I do, and then I'll have 4 or 5 other things. And what just when my body's done, it's done. And sometimes I'll get through it all, and sometimes I won't.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's the gym is it's a great place if you're using it properly for sure. Definitely.
Have you ever tried the powerlifting?
So I had a buddy that started to get me into that kind of stuff. I was benching 3 plates at the time, and then we started pushing like 3 plates and 25s, and he wanted me at 4. And then I started talking to some of the older guys that would like kind of look at you funny that you were doing it. And they're like, you're gonna just kill your joints, man. There's if you're competing, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Like if I was going to be out there competing, I would really like it. There's this feeling when you are like maxing out that's a wicked feeling.
Yeah.
But when I started talking to people like the downsides of doing that, it's you know, mangling. Like look at Ronnie Coleman, his like whole back is fused. He like can't walk without the sticks. Like he's having a rough go of it. But yeah, no, I totally did. At one point
Yeah.
I was shrugging 5 plates and like I was pretty big.
Wow.
Yeah, I was fucking enormous.
Yeah,
Um,
I had a little phase where I tried powerlifting too, and I was
yeah,
like, I'm getting strong, but like I don't like this because you basically only do like compounds movements with
yeah.
that, and it's like I love just the bodybuilding. Just you start with your compound, and then you do whatever other little exercises, and yeah.
Yeah, my cousin has a full gym in his basement, but he's a lot more geared to like CrossFit, which is the same thing. It's just punishment. Like those compound movements are punishment, in my opinion, where you're just like, how many times can I do this until I feel like I'm going to throw up?
Yeah.
And bodybuilding's not like that for me. Like I definitely in between like my second or third superset, I'll sit down because I'm getting a little dizzy, but that's because you've got no blood in your brain anymore. Like you're just you're just back and forth and back and forth. You got to take like a rest every once in a while. Oh, do you use a interval timer when you're bodybuilding?
No.
It was a huge game changer for me, and I even put it on like 1 minute to and 1 minute on, 2 minutes off, which is what I thought was a big rest when I'm lifting heavy. But those 2 minutes go by and then you're back into the next set. I imagine I was waiting around too long on heavy sets and I wasn't waiting enough time on the light stuff. Like I give myself 60 seconds or like a minute when I'm doing like shoulder stuff. And that last set, I can really tell a difference that I've like given myself a little more of a rest in between the sets.
Okay. Yeah, I should
Yeah,
look into that because
they're
I'm on my
free.
phone.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone for so long between sets, and I'm like, I need to stop looking at memes and start lifting again.
Instagram is what made me do that.
Yeah.
It's just um I don't know. Like I don't ever want to turn my notifications off, right?
Yeah.
Because when somebody messages me, I love answering them right away, you know,
Yeah,
or
me
or
too.
as soon as I get it, you know what I mean? If I turn my notifications off, I'll go hours without checking it. And then it's like, I don't know. It's I'm sure it's getting there. Um, how do you like doing content?
Like
Like, do
TikTok
you
or
enjoy it?
I do.
Yeah, same.
I've noticed like Kayla's not as much. So like the way I see it, Kayla's like our site manager, and I'm like the
Okay.
marketing manager, if you will. Like she'll always decide which jobs we do, what we do, and where we're going next. And well, I'm gonna be like, Kayla, did you post a TikTok? It's been a while. Or like, I'll be
Yep.
deciding like which collabs we do and stuff like that, right? She's not as much like, um, I think it's just because I'm the youngest. I've grown with social media a bit more, maybe. And
Yep.
it just so happened that way. I started my TikTok before her, and she was just like, "Oh, can you stop making TikToks?" And now she's like also making them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, until
Now,
things took off, I almost felt silly. Like when I started that Sudbury site, I started the stories every day. And like when no one's watching them and you're doing them every day anyways, you're just like, oh my God, this is stupid. But I always felt that it like held you accountable for what you're gonna do tomorrow or what you're gonna do today, especially with the
yeah,
business last year. You know, when people are watching and you're not doing what you're saying you're doing, it's like,
yeah.
you know, but you also can kind of back up what you think you can do in a day. Like you have to be realistic too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, content. I fucking love making
But
content.
I always love the idea that like your social media is almost like a an online business card, and it's like it's so nice because people can just look at that and be like, those girls do good work or they don't. It's not like just
Mhm.
giving out your number and they're like, that's a taper. It's like that's a good taper or that's not a good taper. Like,
That's exactly the way that I look at it now. You know, if I meet somebody on a work site and they're on Instagram, I know exactly who they are. Like
yeah,
especially as
exactly.
somebody managing a site, like you can see right away. It's you know, what are your three ways look like, right?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I kind of like
that's
that.
I love doing the mix of like posting pictures of just the job so people see, oh, they do like pretty clean work, everything,
Yeah.
they clean up their sites when they're done, everything's good. Like, yeah, we'll hire them. But also showing like here's how I work. Like hopefully
Well,
I'm doing it the right way and you want to hire me, right?
I feel like both of those things are important using it that way, where you're like, these are our sites. This is the kind of scope that we can handle, obviously, because you're doing it and you're there taking the picture, and then you doing the work.
Yeah.
Because I know there's got to be people out there just taking pictures of what six of them did.
Yeah,
You know what
like
I mean?
the
Like
the
back when I
labor worker coming
oh
in to do touch-ups and taking pictures of the taper's work.
exactly taking an over the shoulder picture when he's done
Yeah.
sweeping.
I did that.
That's right. This was all us. Actually, some of these accounts are pretty funny. The tool reviewer sends me these things all the time, or you'll look over somebody's page and it's like Brad Hanna's work, or Brian from Drywall Nation was in one of the pictures that he sent me, and this guy's posting it like as if it's his work. It was awesome.
Jeez.
It's more comical than anything, right? Because it's like obviously you're going to get called out on that, but oh, it's
Yeah.
so funny.
I've noticed also like even on YouTube, me and Kayla are not on YouTube or like Facebook
Yeah.
posting our stuff, and so many people were posting our stuff and we're getting it sent to us. So I'm like, I don't care. Like I'm putting it online, so it's already out there. But tag me. Like that's not you.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
that's not your
totally.
account content. You're gonna get some guy got 14 million views on YouTube with our videos. I'm like, I never even got
Wow.
14 million on my TikTok. Like
Yeah.
I want credit, please. And they ended up putting like giving us credit. So it's still nice, but it's like I want that.
Hmm.
And if they're not in Canada too, they might be making money off of that. Like
Yeah, it
we're
could
not
be.
because
They YouTube's going to be a new thing this year. Now that I've kind of got the setup for everything, and I'm going to buy a camera instead of using phones,
Okay.
and just do like some longer form stuff. But it seems to be the place to do that, right? I've
Yeah.
never been on YouTube. I've never, like, other than like watching Marvel fan stuff. Like that's pretty much all I'm doing, or like Gordon Ramsay showing me how to cook stuff. And YouTube's never been a huge thing for me, but my kids are really into it, and the more I'm looking at it now, it just makes sense, right?
Mhm.
Because you really can't have a long form like a podcast on Instagram.
Yeah, no.
You know, I'll cut up little snippets of like cool things that are said, and they'll be on there like as reels. But
Mhm.
I think YouTube's gonna be fun this year for sure.
Yeah, that would be nice for sure. I've always like been interested in that too, and like just doing actual tutorials and explaining stuff, but I'm
Yeah,
also like I don't have time. I'll make little
it
TikToks.
takes a lot of time. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like just even doing what we're doing takes a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, Even just editing the videos and whatever. Um, I typically now, when I've got my playlist of music on, if I like the sound of something, I'll like do a screenshot, and that's kind of how I pick my music now. I used to
Yeah.
like go through it and see like what was working for everyone, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that anymore. Facebook is brutal. So you're not on that with your work stuff?
We have a page, and like I've been trying to when I share on Instagram to make it go on the Facebook page as well,
Yeah.
but I always forget. I just use Facebook to talk to my uncles and my aunts, and that's about it, right? So
Yeah, like I've got friends that live out west, and Brittany posts about the kids like almost every day, right? So that typically that's the only reason I'm on Facebook, and to like make fun of my best friend. That's all I use Facebook for. But it does copy paste from Instagram to Facebook. So anything that I do on the business account goes to the business account on Facebook.
yeah.
But some of the comments on the reels are like brutal. There,
On
it's not it.
Facebook, eh?
Oh, it is not a community like Instagram at all.
Oh,
We did
I
this.
was finding
Oh, go ahead.
I was finding TikTok like a lot of people are just like clowns on there, right? They like to like
Yeah,
make jokes and make fun of you. But I
yeah.
never thought Facebook would be like that.
Oh, dude, Facebook's brutal because it's that like community that's got nothing to do, right? Like that.
Yeah.
That's like I feel like Instagram is a more business focused Facebook. At least
Mm.
that's what it is to me, kind of, right? We built this like beautiful Douglas fir pergola last year, and I put the video up on Facebook, and the guy basically, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something to the tune of like, you should kill yourself or quit your job, but pick one. Like, and this was a custom designer designed per, like, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, but just like throwing a dart at the screen and going, I'm going to be shitty about this one. Like,
Yeah.
I just have no idea. Actually, there was a flood of comments like that, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I looked, and there were like 2 million views on it. So you're like,
Oh.
of course you're going to
Yeah.
get some sort of crap when there's that many people looking
Yeah.
at it. That was the other thing I found about Facebook, was it's the viewing is unreal, like the amount of views that you get on things.
Yeah,
um
I saw you post not long ago a
it was
screenshot of your views.
crazy.
I was like, where is that? I want those views. Like,
And all that is just reels. Like you
yeah.
copy paste it from Instagram and just line the music up again. But then the next thing you do is turn those comments off. Like,
Yeah.
just don't even look at them. It's yeah, I look at the comments on Instagram every time. I won't engage with the shitty ones, and I just like to, you got to do the back and forth. Like that's kind of part of the community too, right? Um, but yeah, you can't engage some of these people, because that's just what they do on there. They just
Yeah.
like be shitty about content.
Yeah, I've always found Facebook's where people like to like fight in comments.
Yes.
Instagram, people will only comments if they have like something good to say or like actual questions. and
Mhm.
TikTok is just for jokes. Like that's how I see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cannot take my TikTok comments seriously. Like some of them, obviously, it's like genuine questions and I'll
Oh,
answer them.
totally.
But like
Yeah.
other than that, I'm just like, I'm gonna clown back at you, otherwise that's not gonna go well. Like
Yeah. And if you do start that back and forth, it never goes well. Like it, because
exactly.
these aren't reasonable people to begin with. That's awesome. You gonna work with Columbia more this year, hopefully?
Hopefully, yeah, they did say they wanted to work
Yeah.
more with us in the new year, so I'm excited for
Yeah.
that.
They're awesome, man. I've absolutely loved it this year. And
I know.
it's yeah, making that kind of content's really fun.
Yeah, the first time they contacted me, I didn't believe it. I think I had like around 50K on TikTok, and I
Yeah.
think that's where they found me. And our Instagram was not, I mean, like we still had a good following, but it was not like at 50 like it is now. It was probably maybe under 10 still. Like, but they contacted me. I was like, "Are you sure?" Like, I
Yeah.
knew about influencers and like, but it was always people selling soaps and stuff, like beauty
Totally.
products. It was always those girls, right? And I'm like, I never thought in constructions we could be influencers and like do that stuff. So it was just like crazy to me. And then we just keep getting more opportunities here and
Yeah.
there. And I'm like, oh my God, we're influencers. That's what's happening. It's crazy.
Yeah, like take them all and go for the ride, right? Like the
Yeah.
marketing from a real person talking about how they actually feel about something it hits
Mhm.
way harder than putting an advertisement up, right? And when you look at the money exchange just for ads, it's enormous. They spend a
Yeah.
lot of money on that stuff. So yeah,
But
sending us free tools, bring it on. Yeah.
yeah. But like I knew, I was like, we already use Columbia. We love like those tools. We only used like their flushers and stuff before the super
Yeah.
taper because we did pretty much everything by hand other than that.
Yeah.
But just getting to try new tools and they're just amazing. I love them.
Same. Yeah, any opportunity, I always jump at it, and then I always walk away from it like this was cool.
Yeah.
It's never been like, oh, okay. It doesn't feel like work at all. It doesn't feel like anything other than exactly what I want to do reviewing it and stuff. It's yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's been an absolute pleasure. You got anything you want to say? Any shout outs? You could whatever
Well,
your
only person I can shout out right now is Kayla for not being here, but she's
perfect.
part of the team and we love her.
Yep, awesome. Okay, great. I'll email you your copy
Perfect.
and then I'll let you know when we're going to release it. So yeah, keep
And
kicking
thank you
ass
for
up there.
having me.
Oh my God,
Thank
you're
you for
so
having me on the
welcome.
podcast,
Yeah,
and
you're
I'm
there's
excited to see all your other episodes.
yeah. You always got a seat here. You ever have anything to talk about? Just hop on by.
Awesome.
Okay. Be humble, treat everyone the same, and do your fucking job.